Welcome to First Call Jewel. I'm Jacob.
I'm Bob.
And today we're talking to you about AC units. All right, Bob, it's summertime. Things are getting pretty warm here in eastern Idaho. How big of an issue are effective functioning AC units this time of year?
Well, it's going to get pretty warm, and people are going to want them to work when they want them to work because it gets uncomfortable.
So this AC unit that we're standing next to, what is it? What do we want to share about it?
So this is a Lennox EL18. It's a heat pump. So this one will not only air condition, but it will also heat in the wintertime. And it's coupled with the gas furnace. It's what we call dual fuel. They use this down to, around 30 degrees and then switch over to gas at that point where it makes more economic sense to run the gas. So this one, again, is a nice small unit that side discharge doesn't take up a lot of room. It's a variable speed compressor, so it will run nice and quietly. When it doesn't need the full capacity, it'll run at a much smaller capacity. So this one's an 18 SEER unit. The base models that the government allows now are 13 SEER. The most efficient ones are around 22, 23 SEER. So this is a good middle of the road, middle line unit that the cost for the unit versus the efficiency is a very good value with this one.
What is SEER? Because you mentioned some metrics there.
So SEER is seasonal energy efficiency ratio. It's kind of like miles per gallon. The higher the number, the more energy efficient it is. The lower the number, the less energy efficient. The government has set a base value of 13 SEER as the minimal standard, and everything has to be at least that or more.
This is a heat pump, correct?
Yes.
All right.
So the main difference between an air conditioner and a heat pump is a heat pump has some additional controls in it that will allow the air conditioning to basically function in reverse. In air conditioning mode, we're taking heat from inside the box, inside the house, and getting rid of it outside. You think of like your refrigerator or freezer. Essentially, it's taking the heat out of the product that's inside that box, getting rid of it outside the box. Well, in this case, the house is our box. So now we're taking the heat from inside and getting rid of it outside. In heating mode, we're actually taking heat from outside. So even though it's 25, 30 degrees outside, there's still heat in the air. And using compressed refrigerant, we can gather that heat and effectively, economically distribute it or get rid of it on the inside of the house.
Are AC units or heat pumps, is one better than the other, or is it just different tools?
It just depends on what you're wanting. Okay. If you want air conditioning and you've got a good gas furnace or whatever, so you really don't need heat from the electric source, then air conditioner's great. It's all you need. But we sold a lot of these last year when there was the energy tax credit. A lot of people could get the heat pump for no additional charge because of the tax credit they were getting. The tax credit's gone, but now the power company still has rebates that if you put in a heat pump, so you have the dual fuel system, then you can still get the rebate from the power company, and it still makes it just about the same cost as an air conditioner. These guys, they have a good gas furnace, and they could easily heat their home with just the gas furnace, but now they have the dual fuel. They can take advantage of the electricity down to the economic balance point, and then switch it over to gas. And then when the temperature rises to where it's now above that balance point, bring the heat pump back on. But in the summertime, they've got air conditioning just like any other normal, just air conditioning unit. This is sitting up off of the ground, and the reason it's sitting up off of the ground is because in the wintertime, if it was running in heating mode, it would shed some ice or some water. It will collect water and then melt it off, and you would get some ice down below it. The heat pump has to be up off of the ground so that it's got a place for that water to go, which then turns to ice. Like the air conditioner we were just showing it at my house, that one I've got up off the ground. It really doesn't have to be off the ground. It could be on a pad right directly on the ground because it's just an air conditioner. I chose to put it up so that I could still have my strawberries underneath it and be able to utilize that space.
We have a gardener right here.
Why not?
Something a lot of people have an issue with is, and you kind of touched on this, is that with AC units, there's often like water leaks, right? Why would somebody want this if they're worried about water leaks compared to, say, like a lower quality or a cheaper air conditioning unit?
So water, when it comes to air conditioning, is really only going to happen inside in the evaporator coil that's above the furnace. And if something goes wrong to where that evaporator coil does what we call ices up, and then when that thaws out, we get too much ice for what the drainage system can handle, then we would get water. Or if for some reason the drainage system gets plugged. So that's one of the important parts about getting an air conditioner serviced regularly, is to make sure the drainage system doesn't have any mold or algae growth growing in it, so that it will drain when you need it to drain. Because during the summertime, an air conditioner is going to condense probably 2 gallons of water in a day. So it's not a lot, but it's enough that if it doesn't drain off to where it's supposed to, it can make a mess over time.
Right.
And a lot of times the air conditioner, that part of it is in the basement where nobody sees it. And by the time they realize there's damage being done by water, there's been a bunch of damage. So getting them serviced, having that condensate system flushed and treated so that it doesn't have any microbial growth in it, so that it drains properly, very important.
How often would you say would be a good range to have an AC unit or a heat pump serviced?
Every year.
Once a year?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you really should have your heating system serviced once a year and your air conditioner serviced once a year. So really we're getting eyeballs on it twice a year.
Another big concern that people have is if they want to get like a heat pump or an AC unit, the number one fear is that it's going to be a huge bill. And what would you say to someone if they're scared about the huge bill? And especially if someone wants quality, it's going to be even more expensive, and they're probably anticipating that. What would you say to them so that they're not as afraid about a huge bill? And is there a way to help someone who maybe can't necessarily afford an AC unit like this, but they would want one if they could?
You know, we have a lot of different options available, from the least expensive all the way up to the fanciest, most expensive. The financing is definitely an option that we have. If people have credit for it, then we can use financing to be able to help make it more affordable, to be able to be comfortable and have air conditioning.
Is there anything else that you would say we can look at concerning like this heat pump versus an AC unit?
Well,
And we're going to check out the AC unit over at your place to see exactly what that's like.
an AC unit does cost less. So if all a person really wants is air conditioning in the summertime, an air conditioner is definitely less expensive than the heat pump. And some of the new side discharge units, like the one that we look at my house, they're actually less expensive than the old single speed air conditioners are.
What can you tell us, I guess, about the how loud this one is?
So this one, it was not running and now it has come on. And again, we can hear the fan moving the air. The compressor is making just a very, very slight, you can hardly even hear it. A normal air conditioner, single speed air conditioner, we would have a difficult time even having this conversation in front of it because it just would be too loud. If you want air conditioning, you should get it. I hear all the time, oh, we only need it for a couple weeks out of the year. And I hear that from people that don't have air conditioning, because those that do enjoy it for months out of the year, and they enjoy being comfortable when they come home at night and don't have to sit there sweating. They can enjoy their house. In the fall, when we get some forest fires and stuff happening, we got smoke in the air, you don't have to have the windows open. You can have nice, comfortable air inside and enjoy your place instead of sitting there sweating, wishing you had bought an air conditioner. And with these new higher efficient units, they don't cost that much to run. If somebody's thinking about doing it, you should just do it.
So one of the things that I took away from this is not only like are AC units great for comfort and it's probably going to make everyone in the house happier. It seems that even though they might be the higher quality you go, they're going to be more expensive up front. Overall, like they do save people money, especially in the electric bill as time goes on, right?
Yep, for sure.
Okay, I'm understanding that correctly.